technique, and then you just want to take a couple notes and see if you can do hammer-ons and pull-offs and make it last for a long time. This will be a good finger workout. Put the two together. Here's another one I really like. Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video we're going to go over hammer-ons and pull-offs. So I like to call these techniques the smoke and mirrors of guitar because they make it seem like you're playing a lot faster than you actually are. So if I play a scale with hammer-ons and pull-offs like this, it sounded kind of fast, right? But all I did was pick, 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 pick. I was at 5 picks, but I got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 picks, 15 notes. What's also cool about mixing in hammer-ons and pull-offs is they give you a legato sound. And legato just means very connected. If I was gonna sing legato, I would go la. There's no pause in between the notes. La, right? And I could use slides. La, as opposed to la 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 la, where I pick every note and there's a slight pause or a restart. So not only do they make it easier to play fast, they also give you a different kind of articulation or tone to add into your phrases. But before we jump into the lesson, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new video that comes out, please be sure to tap that bell. All right, so first let's start with hammer-ons. Let's take this note D. It's right in the middle of the guitar on the A string, 5th fret. We're going to use our first finger. And then to play a hammer-on, that's literally all we do is use another finger, in this case the 3rd finger. I'm going to hammer on from frets 5 to 7 like this on the A string. Now being we call it a hammer-on, when you use a hammer and you strike something, you cock back, right? You don't just go like that, you cock back and then hit the nail with the hammer. So it's the same on guitar. You see, I kind of come back and then hammer the note. Also with a hammer, you hit the nail not with the side of the hammer, but with the tip, right? So it's the same with our finger. We don't want to just slap the nail with the hammer. We want to hit it right with that hard tip. When we hammer on, I'm using the hard tip of this 3rd finger to hammer it on. So if you get that bony tip, it's going to be much easier. We also want to make sure we don't lift up the 1st finger. We want to keep that 1st finger down. Right? So I pick one time, I pick this note on the 5th fret, and then I hammer down. Another tip is the closer we go to the fret wire, the stronger the tone's going to be. So here's really close to the fret wire. Here's far away. They both work, but it requires a little more effort if we're back behind the fret wire. So we want to be nice and close to it. The other thing you should keep in mind to make this really effective is you want to get your hand out in front. That's how you're going to get that hammer action. If you're all squeezed in like this, it's going to be hard to get the hammer because you're all flat fingered. So to really get that hammer, you got to kind of drop your wrist, get your hand out in front, and have your thumb on the back of the neck like this, right? Now let's keep our 3rd finger down on the 7th fret and hammer on with the pinky to the 8th fret on the A string. Pick, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer, pick, hammer. Let's see if we can go 5 to 7 and then 7 to 8. 5, pick, hammer to 7, pick 7, hammer to 8. Let's let's see if we can play 5 and hammer 7 and 8. These are the first 3 notes of the D minor scale. Nice. Now if you're having trouble with that, an easier thing to do would be to go from an open string and hammer on, say, with your first finger. So let's do open A string to 2nd fret with our first finger. So I pick and then hammer. So the trick is really just getting the tip, the hard tip, cock back like a hammer and strike. Now a good way to do this on the open strings is just play the open E minor pentatonic scale with hammer-ons. So anything on the 3rd fret, I'm using the 2nd finger to hammer. And then anything on the 2nd fret, I'm using the 1st finger to hammer. So you just want to go at your own pace with this stuff. No rush, really just focus on that motion. All right, now let's talk about pull-offs, and then we're going to put the 2 together. So with pull-offs, let's start again where we were, 5th fret of the A string and the 7th fret of the A string. And now with pull-offs, it's a little more difficult. It's really important to keep the first finger planted. So when we pull off, when I pull off from this note, that first finger's really got to be solid there. So we don't want to pull that off. Now what I'm doing with this 3rd finger is I'm pulling a little bit down and out. So it's not straight down and it's not straight out. It's sort of like down and out. So it gets a little tiny bit of a pluck. Just a little bit. You're just kind of rubbing off of it. So pick, pull, pick, pull. Now if you're getting this sound, open strings, just use this first finger to kind of mute out those open strings. Just rest it lightly down there. Pick, pull. Once you get that, let's go again to this 8th fret and pull that one off with the pinky to the 3rd finger. Now let's do this one and then this one. Then let's see if we can do all 3. All right, now we're going to see if we can put it together. So on that A string, 5, 7, 8, just one pick, 8, 7, 5, 5, 7, 8, 8, 7, 5. All right, now, if we have really strong technique with this, all we need is one pick and we can go forever. And the way that I keep it going forever is, like I said, on that pull-off, I'm kind of pulling out. This was something Hendrix did a lot. He did, yeah, yeah. He would just do a little, you know, like a trill from one note to the next without picking. Again, if that's difficult, we could also do the pull-offs with these open strings going backwards down the scale. So hammer-ons on the way up, pull-offs on the way down. Now, a lot of times you see people use hammer-ons and pull-offs for grace notes. So here's an example of a grace note. When I went, I did a really fast hammer-on from the open D string to the second fret. Do, do. And that's a very vocal technique, because a lot of times singers, when they go to hit a note, they don't just go do, they go do, they go into it. And here, right, so I can do it, right? Very bluesy thing to do. So here's a few ways I recommend you practice these. The easiest thing for you to do that you should master first is play through the open E minor pentatonic scale using hammer-ons and pull-offs. Hammer-ons on the way up, pull-offs on the way down. And then just to get all the fingers used to this, you could take any consecutive 4 frets. Let's just say frets 5, 6, 7, and 8. You can do hammer-ons and just go string to string like that. And then pull-offs. You could do the same thing with any scale. Let's say it was A minor pentatonic. Let's say it was just a regular A minor scale. Right? Sometimes I like to mix in picking with hammer-ons like this. And you could do that with any scale. And then you just want to take a couple notes and see if you can do hammer-ons and pull-offs and make it last for a long time. This will be a good finger workout. Put the two together. Here's another one I really like. Right, so you do first finger pinky, first finger third finger, first finger second finger, first finger third finger. So in general, take any phrase or melody that you learn and see if you could play it both with picking and with hammer-ons and pull-offs. So let's say you learned a little riff that went. Now that's picking every note. Hammer-ons and pull-offs, I can go. So. So that brings us to tapping. Tapping is just the same thing, hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you're using a finger from your right hand to hammer on and pull off. So let's go like this. Let's go 10th fret on the high E string. We're gonna tap that one, and then we're gonna pull it off to the 5th fret on the high E string. So we have 10, 5, 8, 5, 10, 5, 8, 5, 10, 5, 8, 5. Now I'm playing relatively clean. Once we add a ton of distortion, all of this becomes way easier. Check this out. Now, one thing is my nails are kind of long on my right hand for finger picking. That's gonna get in the way if you really wanna get into tapping technique, because I have to angle my fingers or else I hit with the nail. So if you wanna get into tapping, short nails on the right hand is gonna be a good idea. And that's one of the big things that has kept me away from it, is that I like to have my nails grown for finger picking. All right, everybody, I hope that lesson was helpful. If you wanna learn more about this stuff and everything learning guitar related, head over to guitartricks.com. If you wanna see more lessons like this, please subscribe. Happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.